No.
Slides it back.
Instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle for where we're going. There's something ahead worth looking for. When the light of time is on us, we will see our moment come, and the living soul inside will carry on. It's a chance to give new meaning to every move we make through the caverns and the caves where we come from. When the light of dawn is on us, we will see what we can be, and the ancient ones can sleep an easy sleep. In the hallways of the ages, on the road to history, what we do now will always be with us. It's a chance to give new meaning to every move we make in the caverns and the caves where we come from. Instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle for where we're going. There's something ahead worth looking for. When the light of time is on us, we will see our moment come, and the living soul inside will carry on. Light a candle in the darkness so others might see ahead. Light a candle in the darkness when you go.
We're gonna walk together, arm in arm, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk together, arm in arm, with peace in our hearts. Gonna walk together, arm in arm, so our sisters and brothers won't come to any harm. We know we got peace in our hearts. Gonna walk with We're gonna stand for the earth and the children too, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna stand for the earth and the children too, with peace in our hearts. Gonna stand for the earth and the children too, 'cause it will take everyone to make this dream come true. We know we got peace in our hearts. We're gonna stare into the face of the hateful mind with peace in our hearts. We're gonna stare into the face of the hateful mind with peace in our hearts. We're gonna stare into the face of the hateful mind. All we gotta do is let our love light shine. We know we got peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk together, arm in arm, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk together, arm in arm, with peace in our hearts. Gonna walk together, arm in arm, so our sisters and brothers won't come to any harm. We know we got peace in our hearts. 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 Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of a change. Don't be afraid of a change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
request from Miss Mary. What a great song.
All right, well, happy Father's Day, everybody. For all the fathers out there online and here. We've got some more folks coming in. Come on. Just perfect timing. Welcome to Unity of Gulfport. Thank you all for coming. Got a big day ahead. We've got a special guest. Mr. Jack's going to be up in a minute. Make sure we silence our phones now. Got some more people coming in. Come on in. Been waiting for you. All right, so while you're standing, you might as well stay up. We're going to go ahead and stand up and sing The Goodness of God by our great band here. Come on.
Yours are the hands, yours is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. Open your minds, open your lives to celebrate the goodness of God. So as we wait, our hearts wide open, fill us, we pray, that we may walk in the fullness, the wonder of your grace. Yours are the hands, yours is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. Open your minds, open your lives to celebrate the goodness of God. We hear your voice in the silence, a whisper sweet and clear. And here is then that we discover your blessings fall like rain. Yours are the hands, yours is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. Open your minds, open your lives to celebrate the goodness of God. One more time. Yours are the hands, yours is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. Open your minds, open your lives to celebrate the goodness of God.
All right. All right, let's open it up with a prayer. We open our hearts and our minds to receive divine inspiration this morning at this very special place and time. May we allow the Spirit to inform us of what is ours to release and what is ours to embrace. We open up, we release, and we receive as Spirit moves in, around, and through us. We are grateful for this glorious morning and all those who are serving today of their gifts and their talents. May we each be blessed in a very special way. Amen. So again, we're going to welcome you all back here to Unity on this Father's Day. Do we have anyone here that is a first-time visitor? You can put your hand up. We'll welcome all back. Good to have you. Hello, Brenda. Come on in. Joey. Perfect. So we'll start with our weekly affirmation. We all of us, we come together to affirm and to celebrate our unity. It's our oneness with each other and with the source of all that is. In that spirit of unity, let us pause to unfold in light and love all people in our community, in our world. The candle of unity, it signifies the light within each of us and our connection to the source of all that is, and so it is. So let us affirm our faith. I have faith that God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. I have faith that God provides me ways when to human sense there is no way. I have faith that God is guiding me in all ways. My health, happiness, and success are assured. Now, why don't we stand again, because we all love to stand, and let's enjoy. Oh, we're not going to stand. We're going to do God in everything together.
I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in
The lyrics are in your bulletin if you'd like to join us.
joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in everything. I choose joy, I choose peace. I choose goodness surrounding me. I choose love in every breath I breathe. I choose God in everything. I choose happiness, I choose freedom. I choose the beauty that lives in me. I choose perfection in what life brings. I choose God in everything. And I know joy, I know peace, I know goodness surrounding me. I know love in every breath I breathe. I know God in everything. I know happiness, I know freedom. I know the beauty that lives in me. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God's in everything. Yes, I know God in everything.
All right, very nice. So now we get to have Miss Tammy Breidenbeck come up, and she'll be reading our daily word, which is Father's blessings.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today is Father's blessing. I bless my Father with loving thoughts of gratitude. Today I bless my Father and the father figures I have known with thoughts of love and appreciation. The man I call Father may or may not be related to me, but he has touched my life with love. I give thanks for those fatherly figures who selflessly gave their time and love to help me grow into the person I am today. Their demonstrations of patience showed me how to give others space and time. Their humor and lightheartedness taught me not to take myself too seriously. Their guidance and trust encouraged me to be independent and trust myself. I would not be the person I am today without the lessons of love and wisdom shared by my father. In so many ways, he gave me a strong foundation on which I built my life. I am grateful and blessed with all he has given me. Honor your father. Matthew 15, verse 4.
All right, so we have announcements. Announcements are in your bulletin, also up on the screen. As you know, today we are celebrating Father's Day and Juneteenth after service today. Sunday morning discussions, we've got a postponement there to June 23rd with Miss Judy, so make sure you come to that. That's always a good show. And best thing on here is music nights coming on July 19th. Make sure you put that on your calendars because that's the best part of this place for me. Just kidding. If anybody has any specific prayer requests, you know that we have our prayer box in the back of the service room here, and you can fill out the form and put it there. You can place your requests in that box so that we can pray for them, your prayers, and also that can go up to Silent Unity. And now we have Reverend Jack, but make sure we silence our phones, prepare for a marvelous meditation, keep it kind of quiet, enjoy. Reverend Jack, it's your turn.
All right, we're going to do a song to start out, but right before that, and I would like to say I'm so grateful to be playing with your awesome band here this morning. Y'all just give them a hand. They're so great with their vocals and all the talent that's going on here. And this is just an awesome Karen Drucker song. We'll do a meditation soon after this. Just starting our day with love and peace and joy.
I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what
How was everyone this morning? Awesome. So I left my water down on the bench, so you must talk amongst yourselves while I go to get it. Oh, Matt's going to get it for me. That's even better. They're escaping. Once again, I'm so grateful. Oh, thank you, Shelby. Grateful to be playing some live music with your awesome band and singers. I'm going to take a moment before I begin to talk, just go into that still, quiet place within us. For we know that no matter what is happening out in the world, that there is a place within us that is untouched. Untouched by anything that has ever happened in this world. In this quiet, sacred place within you, you are completely healthy, whole, prosperous, forever loved, forever loving. When we move to a space of stillness and silence, we hear the words that can never be spoken. We hear the very voice of God in the stillness. We connect with our highest self that is still exactly as God created it. Perfect and whole, complete without any needs. So let's take a moment and go there together to this sacred, silent place within. I would invite you to begin to breathe consciously and deeply. Begin watching your breath as it comes into your lungs. And continue watching it as it leaves your body. Use your breath as a mantra to begin to take you inward. Turning all of your attention within. As best you can as you continue to consciously breathe. As best as you can, allow your thoughts to begin to fall away into the nothingness from where they came. As thoughts arise, just allow them to be there. Acknowledge them. And let them be and fall away. As best as you can, allow yourself to become empty. Feel your legs completely relax. Release any tension in your abdomen, your chest. Let your shoulders gently drop, releasing all tension from your neck. Feel your face begin to soften. As you feel yourself supported in the pew or chair where you're sitting, bringing all of your attention here and now. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that all is well. Breathing in the very breath of God. Moving even more deeply into the stillness, into the emptiness. Into the emptiness. Into the emptiness. In the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find myself. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Sing along if you'd like. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. And for this time together, we know that we have come here for a holy purpose, being exactly where we need to be, the exact space and exact time. And this group of people in this space will never, ever happen exactly like this again. So this is a special and holy and sacred time that we have come together to remind each other of who we are, to see the reflection of God within each other, to see the face of God within each other, to remind each other of our magnificence as blessed and holy children of God. So let's once all together again, just breathe in, relaxing with open hearts and open minds, ready to receive, knowing that everything that needs to be said will be said, and whatever needs to be heard will be heard. As we turn this time exclusively over to Spirit, to this powerful presence within all of us. Thank you, God. Thank you, life. And so it is. Amen. Y'all all look lovely. Yeah, I'm headed over there. Thank you, Doug. It's Vanna Doug who's helping over there. Before I move over there, I was just going to say welcome, everybody. Most faces look familiar, but if you don't know me, I'm Reverend Jack Fowler. I was senior minister at Unity of Metairie in the New Orleans area for 12 years. And now I'm out free and wild on the road, doing whatever I want to do. So I'm happy to be with you here today, and I love Reverend Judy and the wonderful community and ministry that she has here. So happy to be here, and happy Father's Day. I don't know if cats count, dogs and cats count. And even we usually think about biological parents during Mother and Father's Day, but sometimes they're not even biological. There's been a male force in our lives that has helped us and supported us, and it may not even be your biological father, but we learn from all of those people in our lives. And so I'm grateful for my father. He was a Pentecostal minister. He passed quite a few years ago, right over in Mobile, Alabama. So I am going to move over to the other mic, so we'll get rolling here. So once again, talk amongst yourselves. Doug, tell jokes. I don't know.
Back in 1967, there was a family in Atlanta. They were called the Roberts. They had a child we would like to know, can our children be a part of that theater? Robert's family said, of course, tough times and civil rights movement, the Roberts invited them in. And now the Roberts had a third child that was coming. They were really low-income family. They were struggling to figure out how they're going to pay for that third child. And all of a sudden, the baby's born, and the hospital bill is paid for by Martin Luther King and his wife. Paid for it. And
Awesome.
that's pretty cool. But the real cool part of that third child is Julie Roberts.
Wow. Thank you, Di. That's awesome. Especially if you're ever on Jeopardy, that'll be good to know. Thank you, Di. So a lot is going on this week. June is a packed week. It's Father's Day today. Also, Juneteenth is during this time, and I'll just talk a little bit about that. And it's Pride Month, where we support and ally with the, I never can get them all right, LGBTQTIA ABCDEFG group. It changes. So many people still are being included in that. But as you can see, what I'm actually going to be talking about is your body is a divine alarm clock. Got some eyebrows came up over that. So, you know how when your engine light comes on in your car, what happens usually? We get upset at the engine light, of all things, this little light on the car. Like, dang, the engine light came on. But you know that the engine light is there to help you, right? The engine light comes on so that you can pull over or go to the mechanic the following day or do whatever you need to do so that you won't break down in the middle of the swamp on Interstate 10. And it's so funny how we get upset with the engine light itself, as though that little bitty light is some kind of demon or something when it comes on. How many people have, and be honest, how many people have ever cussed the check engine light? Just cussed it. And it's trying to help. It's trying to help us. It's trying to let you know something's wrong. You may not know it, but something's wrong with your engine, and you better pull over. And I've learned over the years that our body is the exact same thing. Our body is a check engine light. Our body is a divine alarm clock in the sense that if we think we have everything under control and everything just cool and we're at total peace and love and we're like sitting with the Buddha in the flower bed and all those things and doing hot yoga, got your little yoga pants, whatever you're doing. Whenever we feel an illness, whether it be large or small, a cold or maybe cancer or whatever it may be, of course, at first we get upset with that. And many of us have had those diagnoses, or someone that's had something from small to large. And what I've learned, and I believe that what spiritual teachings tell us, is that is your body telling you that at the deepest level, there's something that still needs to be healed and brought up. Something that you subconsciously may not know about, maybe something that happened when you were very young that you've stuffed down in there. And when we begin to ask for complete healing and peace, it's not like we sit, or at least it wasn't for me, it's not like I was sitting meditating by a Buddha statue with a bunch of flowers. Actually, when I asked for peace, my entire life fell apart completely. And the reason was there were so many things in my life that I didn't even know that was unlike peace, that was unlike joy. And I didn't even know they were really there. And before I could really get to that special, wonderful place where we just feel centered and connected to everything, I had to let go of things that I did not even know that was in there. And many times I've had illnesses as my divine alarm clock that says, hey, pay attention. Pay attention. And I'm not judging anyone who's had a dis-ease. Do you know that's what that word comes from? So I was talking to somebody about this the other day, that originally doctors, especially like in the 1800s, of course they went to your houses then, they made house calls still, and when someone was sick, they would say they had a fever, or they were sick in the bed, the doctor would go, and you know what they would do? They wouldn't do tests, they wouldn't send you for an MRI, they wouldn't call your insurance company. they would say, what happened in your life in the last month or year? Have you had any traumas? Have you had a heartbreak? And the doctor was many times able to give a diagnosis based on the conditions of your life. And unfortunately, we've gotten way away from that. We've gotten now with all this new technology and things, which all that stuff is good if we need to use it. And but that's what they would do. They would say, you know, what's happened? What's going on in your life? And so since the doctor doesn't do that, it's up to us to try to figure out where this is coming from. Have you all have heard of Louise Hay, correct? You've heard of her before or read her magnificent book, You Can Heal Your Life? If not, it's an amazing, easy, simple book to start out with to learn a lot of metaphysical principles of someone that actually put it into action. Because, you know, we talk about stuff all the time, but how many times do we really put it in action? You know, that's the fifth unity principle. I've got to do all these things. I've got to be love in action. So Louise Hay was a very beautiful woman, and she lived in New York. She was a model, actually, and made really good money as a model when she was younger. And as she got into her 40s and 50s, she was successful. She married, and she got a very serious cancer. And she was actually diagnosed for 6 months. You know, the doctor was like, well, you've got this, it was cervical cancer, and it had spread all around. You've got this, and you've got 6 months, get your affairs in order. And at the same time that she got that diagnosis, she walked into a Center for Spiritual Living. At that time, it was called Religious Science, which that's Unity's sister group, if you're not familiar with that. A lot of the same ideas. I've spoken and done music at both groups, and there's really, if you shut your eyes at many of them, you can't even tell which one you're in. But she walked into the Center for Spiritual Living in New York City, and she sat in the back row because she was afraid to go in there, and because of her upbringing. And she said she heard for the very first time, you have a power within you that is greater than anything in this world. You have the power to heal anything in your life. That includes emotional issues, mental issues, and physical issues, no matter how great or small it is. She heard that for the very first time, and a light went off inside of her. And she asked for help, which we sometimes don't do. You know, we try to figure everything out. Have you ever done this before? Sat and prayed and said, there has to be an answer for this. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be an answer. Then you jump up and go, okay, I've got to go over here, and I've got to do this, and I've got to call. And we don't even really let that unfold and happen. But she allowed Spirit to guide her, and she was guided to a person who is very wise. They call them practitioners, what we call chaplains in Unity. And she went to a practitioner and worked with him, and he was very wise. And she said, I heard in service that you can heal yourself of anything. He said, yes, you can. She's like, well, I've got 6 months. I'm dying of cervical cancer, and it had spread to all of her other reproductive organs at that point. And he said, well, if you're really ready to dive deep, let's go. And so she did go very deep, and she was willing to unearth some things that she doesn't even know is there. And she realized through meditation and through connection and through this wise teacher that was helping her that this cancer was caused from being sexually abused when she was 5 years old, all the way up to 9 or 10 years old for 5 years. And she had pushed it down so far, she didn't want to think about it. She didn't want to know about it. But it was still there lingering, the resentment against the perpetrators. Resentment. And she really understood that if I get rid of this resentment and I begin to forgive and become in touch with this, I will heal. And you could probably guess what the story goes on. The next time she went to the doctor, he came back and he said, we need to do another scan because the machine messed up. She tells the story more eloquently than me. I'm kind of paraphrasing. She said, the machine messed up. We need to do another scan. She's like, oh, go ahead. So they did another scan. There's nothing there. It's not like tumors have shrunk. There's nothing there. I think they ended up doing like 3 scans that day because the doctor couldn't believe it. He said, this is not supposed to happen. So instead of passing, she realized the divine alarm clock went off really loud within her, and she awoke to the fact that there was something within her that needed to be healed and forgiven, and there was resentment that had to be released for her to be healed, and she did it. Louise Hay wrote this book, You Can Heal Your Life, and over a period of time, it came out, I believe, in the late 70s, it's one of the best-selling books of all time. And that's because it sold a bunch and a bunch over every decade. People still buy it. It's still a bestseller. You never hear people talk about that on charts and the bestsellers, but it's one of the best-selling books of all time. And from that, a few years later, she decided to start a publishing company and realized that now she's healed, so now what do? There's got to be something greater for me now. And she started Hay House Publishing, which, if you're familiar and look at the little names of publishers on the books that you may have, some of their authors are Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, a few little, tiny little people, you know. And Hay House has now, and still is, become a global powerhouse of spreading and writing, distributing books that are all meant to help us in various forms heal. Because, you know, we're given the same message. I mean, Judy and I have talked about this. When we stand up here, we're just saying the same thing over and over, but disguised it in different ways. There's not really much to say except you have the power within you. There's a power within you greater than anything in this world. And we try to figure out new ways to say that all the time. It's a pretty simple message, but I think many of us have been so conditioned to think something else. It takes a minute. So Louise Hay not only stayed alive until she was 90, but she got healthier as she got older. Isn't that different? Who ever heard of that? Instead of declining, she got stronger. And she passed a few years ago at the age of 90. She had the publishing company for 30 years, and she realized that her mission was done. She had everything established, and she went to bed one night and just didn't wake up. What a way to go. Feeling that everything you needed to do was complete. I would love, and that is my purpose too. I want to know when the time comes that it will be easy, and I'll be happy, and I'll be ready, and I will feel like that my purpose has been done. And wouldn't that be great to feel that way? And I want to tell a story about another lady, and many of you may have heard about her, and that's Myrtle Fillmore. She's one of the founders of Unity, her and her husband, Charles Fillmore. Now, if you know their story, they weren't trying to start anything. They weren't trying to found anything. Myrtle was very sickly, and she had tuberculosis, which at that time, in the late 1800s, was a death sentence. They would send them away to hospice. They didn't call it them, but they would send them away to like sanatoriums, is what they called it, with other people that had it because it was very contagious, and they waited to die. There was no shots, there was no vaccines, and they waited to die. And she had some other ailments within her body, and her husband also had fallen. Charles Fillmore, who one of the founders of Unity, had fallen when he was ice skating when he was little, younger, and broken his hip. So he had issues walking, issues getting around. So he was in pretty bad shape too. I mean, they were both hobbling around everywhere. And, you know, they were popular in the community though because they were very sweet people. And just like Louise Hay, Myrtle walked in one night to hear a lecture. And the guy was named Phineas Quimby, and he said the same thing in a different way. You can heal your life. You have the power within you. She was like, is this real? Can this really happen? And she too used this power to completely heal herself, completely. And she lived also to be in her 90s. And the last couple of years of her life, there's a big tower at Unity Village. Like, I don't like to call it our home office, it's our home sacred space. And it's 10 floors tall, and she would walk up and down those steps every single day at the age of 90. So she not only lived to be 90, but she was vibrant and 90. You know, we need to change affirmations to, oh, I want to be able to live a long life. No, I want to be able to live a long, vibrant life. and water ski when I'm 90 or whatever, you know. And Myrtle also, there's much more to the story, but she used the same thing, and she also completely healed and lived another 40 or so years. And her husband said, wow, dang, what did you do? And he used the same ideas, and then he also healed himself, not only of his physical ailments, but of his ideas of prosperity. He became a very, very successful real estate agent in Kansas City, Missouri, and that's to this day is where our home sacred space is close to, now it's so big, it's its own city and has its own zip code, Unity Village, you know, Missouri. And what a work they did. And they didn't go around telling people about this. They were just expressing this health and this goodness into the world that people that knew them before say, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be dead? You know, it should be in the fresh produce and like picking out something to eat. And she's like, aren't you supposed to be dead? And she's like whistling and singing a tune, about to do cartwheels. It's like, no, I'm not dead. And they said, well, how did you heal yourself? What happened? And she's told them, I have the power within me, and so do you have the power within you to heal. So what happened is that people started showing up at their house, bringing in sick children or falling out on the doorstep. And and so Myrtle started writing affirmations for them to help them heal. And then it got so many that she had to get people to help her. And then they started using phones and they became available. And on and on and on. And that's how Unity began. It was a prayer service. And it still exists today. You can call Unity Village, call their prayer center. It's a 1-800 number. You can call, and a live person will actually talk to you 24/7, every day of the year. You can talk to a live person who is skilled in helping you to know that everything is right. Because this is what prayer is. This is what I know for sure that prayer is for me. It may be different for you, but prayer is knowing the truth for someone when they are temporarily unable to know it for themselves. That's what truth is. And that's what Jesus did if he saw someone that was sick. He would look at them and be with them and know for them the truth, and they would heal. And Jesus didn't do it, they did it, because his aura was so clear that they couldn't help but heal. And we know this is true. Jesus never claimed to heal anybody. If you read the scriptures, it says every time something happened, he turned around and said, it is your faith that made you whole. I didn't do anything, you know. And so Myrtle and Louise, this is the key to what happened to them. And this is really, really important. And they both said this in some way or another. Louise and Myrtle Fillmore said, being healed of a disease is good. Of course, it's fine. But when the mind is really healed, it no longer believes that sickness is even necessary. So sickness is no longer able to strike. I mean, we can use all kinds of formulas and stuff, and using meditation or, you know, whatever we might use for crystals or handstanding or whatever would work. But there's a big difference between being healed of a dis-ease, and that came from when I was talking about the doctors that would, in many centuries ago, that would ask them, what's wrong with you? So they would say, are you at ease? No, dis-ease. That's what that word even comes from. You're not at ease, which is a better definition of it. It helps to really explain what it is. So that's what they proclaimed, is that, yes, it was great that I'm healed, but the most beautiful and powerful thing that's happened is that I am now healed of the idea that sickness is even necessary. And both of these women and Charles Fillmore lived a long, prosperous life, never having any illness strike again. Man, I aspire to do that. Can you imagine, and do imagine it, because your imagination is powerful, can you imagine living out all the rest of your days and never having anything else again, not even a cold, not even a fever, that you pounce up every day? I love the word pounce. That you pounce up every day, ready to go. Charles Fillmore, when he was in his 80s, said this. He's like, I get up with zeal every morning, ready to do what Spirit would have me do. And he was almost 90 years old, jumping up with zeal. I mean, sometimes I don't have zeal, and I'm a lot younger than that. We need to have that zeal. So just powerful things to know about that. And back to what our talk is, it all ties in, is because what they realized as well, Louise and the Fillmores realized that their body was actually a divine alarm clock. Because without those diseases and without all those issues that they had, they would have never moved into the powerful place where they were. They would have never known. Louise would have never known that she was holding on to resentment from what happened to her as a child. Myrtle would have never known where her tuberculosis came from, because she said that I didn't even have enough self-esteem to believe that I deserved to breathe. That's what tuberculosis is. And one of the things that Louise Hay did was she made this little blue book. Some of you may have seen it before. It's a little blue, they call it the little blue book, and it's what's called mental equivalence. So for instance, Louise was abused as a child, and she had a correlating illness directly tied to that. Now, I have to give a disclaimer here. It's not always that clear. It's not always like, oh, I stubbed my right toe. That means I'm not supposed to go to that party tomorrow, or whatever, you know. The most important thing is we listen to the wisdom within us. And the little blue book is just a guide, and it's fun to look at stuff. Like, for instance, it says, as an example, I got kidney stones really bad one time. I mean, I was screaming and hollering. I was in the hospital for 3 days, so I looked that up. And kidney stones, it said that whoever gets kidney stones is angry at the world. And buddy, was I angry at that time. It fit perfectly. So you see what I'm saying. The divine alarm clock goes off whenever we have something within us that needs to be healed, and it's going to come up one way or the other. And it's so nice to know this, because it makes me have compassion for those that don't know this, that are, when they do get a diagnosis, they don't know to even think. That's why unity is so important. That's why it's so important that you are here as a community to share these ideas with people, because you know that there are people in the houses around here and further up and down by the beach. You know that there are people suffering that would love to know this information. They would love to know. We get so used to it, we almost take it for granted. You know, we hear it all the time. It becomes like, la, 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 but some people really need to hear this stuff. It's really important. You have the power within you. So when that alarm clock goes off, you have the spiritual tools to know how to deal with it, and you don't panic. I mean, of course, if you get a big diagnosis, it's human nature that you're going to be upset. I'm not saying that. But when it does happen, you know what to do. And your path will be different from everyone else's. If someone has a diagnosis and they do something and you get that same diagnosis, it doesn't mean you do that exact thing, but you listen to Spirit and you will be guided, because there is a conspiracy for your good. And we have tried so hard to mess it up. We have tried so hard to mess it up. We have tried so hard to convince ourselves that we're small and little and limited and are not, you know, that we're our bodies and all these crazy things. And the conspiracy for your good is so strong that you can never get off course, even if you think you have. The question is, how long do you want to suffer? How long are you going to take until you finally accept, wow, the universe has my back. It really does. And my nature is health. And my nature is prosperity in all ways, opulent wealth, great health, relationships out the wazoo, whatever you want, being able to travel and do. I love someone said that the definition of freedom is being able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whoever you want to do it is, without ever having to think about money. That sounds like freedom to me. And we can have that with Spirit. And what's interesting, too, that I've learned about prosperity is it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a whole pile of money in the bank. What it does mean, though, and there's nothing wrong with that. If your bank account is overflowing, then let's have a party. It's awesome. But what prosperity really means, that when you need it, it will be there. One of the most anxious people I know is one of my best friends from high school, who inherited $80 million from his father when he'd passed. He's one of the most anxious people that I know in the world. A great teacher for me to know that that's not the answer. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not where our peace comes from. He's always worried that he's going to lose it. So you can't win. You get prosperity that way, and you think you're going to lose it. When we have the prosperity that is our birthright, that comes from God, from this divine presence within us, we'll always have it. Sometimes we have the money in the bank. So many times it's happened for me where when I needed it, when I needed a new car or something else happened, that I just relaxed and trusted, and there it was. So we need to give ourselves a break, and realize that there is so much more than we realize happening in the invisible that's working for us. One of the best things, I'm getting ready to close here, one of the best things that I've learned from a teacher I found online is that our body is energetic, and many of us know that, but I don't know if we really, really know it and practice it, that our body is basically energy. And how many people have ever read the book or seen the movie Messages from Water? Hidden Messages from Water. Anybody? It's awesome. It was written by a Japanese physicist, and what he did, he had this idea to take water from what's called the Fuji Dam. He took all this water from there, and the same exact water from the same exact source, and he put it in vials, and he did an experiment. He had people write down things: hate, love, peace, joy, vile, evil, you're not worthy. And they put little words by each of the vials. Not only that, but they had people stand by the vials, and their job was to say that thing over and over. To say to the water, you are vile, you are unworthy, you are vile. Now, I know that'd be hard to say, but they did it. And if you haven't read it, you should really look at this book, because the pictures that they show after this happened, after a period of time, they looked at the molecules of the water under a microscope. And the molecular structure of each one of those drastically changed based on the words that were told to the water. It's just so amazing. It's so cool. And why is that important to us? Because depending on your age, your body is 40 to 70% water. So if this water's molecules actually changes from a few weeks of somebody saying this, imagine the water within your body that in your inner talk is saying that over and over. Because many times our inner talk is not even our own voice. It's somebody else's. So there's a whole talk on that book, and I'll maybe do that next time I come to visit. But look for it yourself. It's called Messages from Water, and you'll see how powerful this is. You get to see it yourself. The ones that said, I am pure love, was this beautiful white, looked like a snowflake. And the one that said, I hate you, was deformed and snarly and dark looking. The same exact water was affected by the intention of the words and by the people that stood by it and what they said. Blew my mind for sure. So our body is a divine alarm clock, and we just need to listen to that. And one other thing I wanted to say, I love this, is Norman Cousins, who wrote Anatomy of an Illness. We can bring up the other quote here. It's one of my favorite quotes in the world. The tragedy of life is not death, but what we let die within us as we live. The tragedy of life is not death, but what we let die within us as we live. Because when I walk around, unfortunately, I see many people, the light's already gone out of their eyes, and they're still alive. Something has died within them that's worse than the death of the physical body. So next time you get a little diagnosis, or you even get a little fever, I had a really bad hangnail driving over here, and I was driving, so I couldn't deal with it. So I was like, the whole time. And I had gone into construction traffic, so I was running a little bit late to meet with the musicians, and I didn't want to stop. And I was screaming and cussing the whole way, like, ugh. They were nice curse words. So listen to your body. Through spirit, it's giving you messages. Remember that your body is nothing but a divine alarm clock, and it will tell you what needs to be healed for you to really reach that place of beauty and being centered. So we've already said Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody that is fathering, whatever way that is. You may even be a female and be a father, a fathering figure. That's all that it's talking about. And the last thing I want to say is I didn't know this about Juneteenth until just recently, that when Abraham Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation and freed the slaves, that there were still slaves in the South. Oh, we just love the South so much. How progressive we are. There were still slaves in the South, especially in Texas, for 2.5 years after the federal government proclaimed them free. And a general went to Texas, and on June 19th, 1865, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation from Abraham Lincoln, they went and freed all the rest of the slaves. They had a posse of men that went around, and they were all freed, and that's why Juneteenth is celebrated. That's the celebration. It's when the slaves were actually all freed. So we celebrate those and those ancestors who went through so much for the African American community. They suffered so much, but now they've risen up, and have really brought that around. So let's remember and talk about that during the week. It's such an important thing, and I'm glad that our federal government and the holidays and stuff now it's an important time. So, and for everyone celebrating Pride, as we say in New Orleans, we love you hard, hard, hard. We swear to God. So just remember that your body is a messenger. Don't hate it. Don't be upset about it just because it gives you the engine light. Be grateful that you've got an alarm clock that lets you know. And I know and I'm grateful to be here today. I'm grateful to be playing music with your wonderful music team, and I hope to see everybody soon. And by the way, as I promised last time I was here, I brought some Popeye's chicken, and it will be in the back for us to eat. So we're going to fry some chicken and just start all over like we used to in the Pentecostal church. We're not really going to start over, but anyway, I love you guys very much, and I'm so grateful to be here with you today. Namaste.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Jack. That was awesome. So it's time for our offering. We give expression to our appreciation for all that is offered here at Unity of Gulfport. Please take your offering in your hands and say along with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am and all that I have and all that I give and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust in God. Thank you very much.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together? Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet again. Some trails are happy ones, others are blue. It's the way you ride the trail that counts. Here's a happy one for you. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together? Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you until we meet again. See y'all next week.